Hello, everyone. Today, I'm very pleased to introduce you to Igor Churlinkin, who is a mental wellness coach and who is helping countless individuals build emotional resilience, reduce stress, and create lasting inner balance, which is really, really important for professional success and personal peace and growing. And I hope that you will enjoy our conversation. Hello, Igor. How are you doing?
Hey there, pretty good today. So really glad that finally we meet here. So I think it will be good conversation. Yeah.
I also hope it will be very good conversation for our viewers also, and I hope you will also enjoy because when I saw your profile and after reading your three posts, you were on top of my list to invite.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm so glad. So how are you doing?
Really good. I think now I'm full time
Yeah.
Instagram guy. So yeah, and now it works pretty well for me because I spend a lot of time to try to find myself outside the professional poker grind because it was really tough to find something which you will see any meaning outside the professional sport because it's more about professional sport. So yeah, now I think my life is in the best state ever.
I'm so glad to hear this. And I'm so glad to hear this because not everyone can say this. We are in the best phase of our life because we all are struggling and just trying to navigate through the struggles and the stress and daily life. I'm so happy to hear this.
Yeah.
So my first question will be that like it's a very high pressure world where we all are having different noises from work, relationship, and all the stress is adding up. Can we protect our mental performance without burning out?
It depends what is your goal. And you have to ask yourself, I want to feel happy and to be a happy person, or I want to be this kind of high achiever, this grinder mindset and all this modern achiever stuff. So if you want, if you really want to prevent burnout, so the best way it's like to be as moderate as we can. So it's like in any professional sport, for example, if you go to the gym or running, 80% of your everyday activity is about low to moderate effort. So you are trying to prevent yourself not to spend too much energy. So you have to return home and feel like, okay, maybe I'm tired, but I still can have fun from everyday activities. I still can live this life. But if it's not moderate, usually you just return home. Okay, maybe you became rich or successful on all this good, great capitalistic stuff. But if you return home and just you feel this big void in yourself, I don't think that's the best way to live your life. So moderation is the key, and most of the people usually don't do that in correct way, I think, because everything in our modern world, maybe in Instagram, every corner just say you have to work harder, you have to achieve more, you have to do that. It's not good.
So basically, you're suggesting that moderation is the key while everyone is just giving a message to work hard, push really hard. So you are saying that we need to take a deep breath and, like just balance everything out. That's good. That's very
Yeah.
positive. And I think this will also help everyone think what progress they have made. They can take a pause and then they can restart.
Yeah, because it's a lot of hustle culture. Like you, if you are not first ones, you just loser. But if we try to think deeply about ourselves and our meaning of life, what we're trying to do, especially for person who became this first one, they also in struggle. And I know in Asian culture, it's more obvious that our life is suffering than for Eastern culture. Because in Eastern culture, it's just you have to bless, you have to be as they smile, and everything is fine. But yeah, so you can achieve high, but it will not make you happy. But if you will be such this slow wave river just in the woods, yeah, it's the way to be happy, not waterfalls. River in the woods, it's the best way.
Yes. And I know you have worked with some of the top performers also. What have you learned about the emotional cost of success?
There is
Is there
always,
anyone?
yeah. I think I had a really deep professional psychological burnout of high achievers because I was one of them, and I had a lot of discussions in the professional poker forum about that. And almost in every sphere, if we speak about these extremes, you will pay the price, and price usually is just your mental health. You will not have good relationships. Maybe it will be just okay relationships, but it never be great. And you will not have, maybe you will have good body, but high achievement is just, it's kind of another dopamine addiction, which our society says that it's great addiction. Yeah, please do it again. But everybody who spent all the efforts to one goal finally will pay the price, and this price is awful. So it's price with the void, it's price with the you don't have anything except your these goals which you get. Maybe do you know the cartoon BoJack
No, I haven't heard of
Horse
it.
BoJack? It's
Probably I'm too old for cartoons though.
it's really funny. It's a cartoon about the horse, but it's of course it's metaphorical horse, which achieved something in their past, and all his life now it's depression, addiction, and just problems. And all his life he just reflect how great he was in the previous life, but his life is miserable. So
Okay.
it's
I'll definitely see this because this is something I should watch because
yeah,
most of us live in past, something that we have achieved in past. We are not able to get over it and we are not able to start a new life. And
yeah,
I think you were one of the poker, I think, big players, and then you shifted your mind. This is instead of living, okay, I'm playing poker now. I have achieved this. So
yeah.
probably this is what is really needed.
Kind of experience in your life when you just okay, I'm 100% for work or for any other area of life.
Yes, I have had different experiences. So I was born in Pakistan. So in Pakistan, life is different. I studied law because it runs in the family, but the culture was not something that I could work in. So I did not work there. I started working for Women Economic Empowerment. And so yes, this is being hosting and speaking to people and sharing their stories is what makes me absolutely happy. So I think today, because we're doing the recording after a long time. After I think 2-3 months, I had to travel, and there were some other things going on also. So today is the happiest day.
Good.
Hopefully, I'll be able to become a top host in the future. Yeah,
Yeah,
probably you
so
can call it goal setting. It takes a lot of mental toll also because I'm always constantly thinking about it, and I'm not thinking about it in moderation, not at all. And I'm always thinking about it, but yes, hopefully, I think being on the right path and will help me. So I'm glad. So I think moderation is something that I'll keep in my mind next time when I have thoughts all around.
yeah, because I think it's absolutely normal when you put all your effort, maybe okay, first time, maybe okay, first year, but just you finally you find the right pace for yourself, and okay, we just continue to live our life, and we're not burning out, and make you things which makes you happy and fulfillment of your life.
So, what is one mental shift that can completely change how we show up in both our work and personal relationships?
I think it's better to be more particular in relationships. Of course, every sphere is connected with each other, but if to speak for relationship, I think non-obvious thing is to have separate lives. So it's kind you and your partners just different person which decided in one time in life that okay, we'll just stick together and we will go together in these paths. But the main thing that you are the person and another there is a person, and you can make your life richer for you. And when people try to spend all that time together everywhere, just together, finally they just have their own burning out. But from the relationship, you just spend too much time on one sphere. And if you do that, you don't like your partner now. because you burnt out, but burn out for a relationship. And if you have enough time to rest, so you have moderate pace, just okay, we sometimes spend time together. You try new things because you want to improve, and it makes this kind of fire in between you. And finally, you sometimes take rests, maybe go on another vacation, for example.
Without your partner,
Yeah, yeah,
to give each other some space. In
it's
Asian
absolutely,
culture,
yeah.
there is no space. There is no concept of space. You can you cannot tell them, like a woman, if she decides that she wants to go and spend the night in the living room or in the guest room, because it's this the culture that we live in. It's very all the elders live with you, even the relatives live with you. So you have to explain what went wrong that you. So it's a whole different story. Like sometimes we just want to stay in the living room and watch Chinese dramas all night. This is what I want to
Yeah.
do. And oh my God, I almost burnt my eyes because I watched so I start one drama and until I finish, I'm not finished. So this is how I do it. These are my depression days. So sometimes even over the weekend, we also want to do binge watch. I don't do binge watching. I do cringe watching. People see and they cringe my face. This is how I do. So sometimes it's really difficult to, coming back to the point that sometimes the couple also, they need space, and
Yeah.
and that should be okay and normal, because it's also really important to give each other break and space they need to avoid
Yeah,
the burnout. Yeah,
absolutely.
that's really important.
It's like a rest days from the workouts. It's like a rest days from your work. It's absolutely okay, and it's make fresh. It makes, yeah. So it makes novelty, because I think when you spend all the time, you will lack of it.
Okay, so sometimes, like, we often hear that, like, if you want to achieve something, you have to push harder, you have to do this, you have to do that. But I also agree with you also now that stillness also plays a role in achieving success. And, where we can rest, reflect, and even boredom sometimes play a role in real success. Do you believe in this?
Oh, of course. Boredom is the key to the success.
To
It's
try
most
and
important
enjoy
part.
new things.
Yeah, because for example, you want to be good in something, for example, in any business. I had a good advice from one businessman that if you want to be really good in something, at least you have to spend 3 years in one sphere. So the first part of this exploring, you have to find this sphere when you are ready to spend this kind of time, because it's a lot. So it's preparation. So you have to try a lot of things. Finally, okay, I have high dopamine from that. Okay, and then you stick to it. And if you stick to it enough time, it's almost impossible to be bad in it, because you just have enough volume, so you have strong muscles. And yeah, but boredom is impossible to not to face it, because boredom is just part of human nature. I think the interesting part about humans' story that boredom is key for the everything which we have in our culture, such as good books, this a lot of science, just because people, okay, I don't feel interesting, okay, I will do something different, okay. So especially for if you wanted to achieve something,
It
yeah, it's
helps create new ideas in your mind, I
yeah, yeah,
guess.
yeah. It's
Okay,
just
great.
and interesting thing that people, somebody have less boredom, maybe somebody have not at all, and usually people who are more inclined to boredom, they usually more things in more creative way, because their brains try to have more fun and okay, how I can do that different, or maybe like that or like that. And so boredom is just key to your creativity, so it's more than okay.
It's more than the key, it's important. It's an important ingredient for the success. Igor, I have seen you're very popular and successful on Instagram, mashallah. Mashallah is something that we say all the time, and there is something good happening. But do you also feel pressure when you are making a new post? Will it hit millions? Do you have this constant mental war going on inside when creating content at this stage now?
Yeah, I had a lot of experience in poker community, because there is also I had a lot of posts, and so I write, I think maybe several books just by hand. And finally, sometimes I feel maybe it's maybe it will be too complicated, or maybe I will have conflict with auditory. Yeah, sometimes just I feel fear, maybe this kind, but it's like, okay, we will try and we will see what is happening. If something I will do wrong, auditory, of course they will just say, okay, we hate you, we hate this stuff. Okay, there is no problem, because
Yeah.
we work for auditory, so there is no problem to delete something if they does not like. But another thing I found interesting, that if we fear something, finally then it happened, and when it happened, just okay, it was fear, but now you don't have fear because it's like a mirage, like everything in our life. Yeah.
It's already part of our life, so we are not worrying that it will happen. It has already happened.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
correct. And your poker community is supportive of your Instagram. Are they part of your Instagram family also?
No, because mostly I've in Russian poker community, so I started to in my Instagram page in Russian at the end of the match, and finally I understand that things which are really interested in is more English spoken auditory is more interested in it than Russian auditory.
I agree with you. I agree. You know, like the simplest English, I don't know how and why. So when I was studying law, we had to go through like millions of words and sentences. And, our professor would always encourage us to use as much complex, fancy words. But I don't know how and why. I always find joy in small, simple English sentences more than
Yeah.
in my own language. I don't know, we are able to relate to it, or somehow it's just, I feel it has more impact. So I really feel very good about it. And yeah, we're on the same page. So I
Yeah.
like a lot of people and youngsters are also watching us. How will you tell them to not worry about the audience or the activity on the post and just post whatever they like, just absorb the fact that some things will work out and some things will not work out, instead of worrying and checking your Instagram or any social media app they use like every minute? Because this is very important for especially the Gen Z generation.
Yeah,
Z.
yeah. Because it's a lot of fear to you are on the scene, but it's online scene, but the scene is most public embarrassment, most strongest fear in human nature. So it's okay
Failure.
to have this fear. Yeah. So and the one thing which works really well in every sphere, you just trying to do as bad as you can, just make awful, just and if you try to do like that, finally you will face with reaction like it's so bad, but you just go you go up. Finally you take this feedback that it's awful, but you had this fear. Now you know that it's awful, but your fear just disappears because okay, just it's like a mirage. And so you can try to do anything better. And if you will do better than awful, you don't have fear. And another thing that most of, especially person with high anxiety rate, usually it's overcomplication, and especially in Instagram or any other platform which is public, people don't need this complex, strong, long conversations and all this stuff. Usually they need these simple English short sentences and just to be as
Quality
simple
content.
as quality, and when you just like a personal conversation like we have now. So
How
simplicity
relatable
is the
you
key.
are. How relatable you are to how relatable your content is for the readers. I think this is what makes the Instagram or any other social media more successful than doing this fancy edits and post and other things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, yeah, the time that we live in now is very unhappy times. I call this unhappy times. So what do you think that even we are unhappy, how can we show other people and the world that yes, we are strong, the strong perspective, the outer personality? What is the one mantra you think that just helps, even if you want to cry from inside and you just have to face a room full of people and you are like, You can switch this like within a second.
It's
What do you
it's
think?
kind of stoic mindset, like to be strong with the things in your life, or kind of to be strong to seem strong. Could you please explain it more in particular way?
And a mistake that you think that people are constantly making, and that is making them unhappy.
Yeah, but the interesting part that I think there is 90% of mistakes and 10% of success in everywhere, just everywhere. And the main part is just actions. It was interesting post about that. The most popular advice in any kind of self-improvement book, from 100, the most popular self-improvement book, first one is just make actions. You don't
Yeah.
think, you don't have strategies, you don't need anything, you just do. Then you, okay, I have experience, you reflect that and you repeat. And maybe you will not need any coach, no book. It's like a human nature. We just do things, reflect, and there is a education. So the main part, just do, and don't
To
think.
stay active, do the activity, take that initiative with what you want to do. Because if
Yeah,
you're not taking initiative and you're just running a treadmill in your mind, it won't go anywhere. The project won't go anywhere. You won't go anywhere. So yes, I think activity is the key. But like staying active, but on what matters the most is also matters. But today we have our phones and our life is in we live inside the phones, okay?
yeah.
So the phones do not live with us, we live inside the phones. And especially, we have all the notifications like always on. Even I get over notification. Every kind of notification is on, which means there's a lot of distraction. How can we keep our mind focused? Do you suggest that we should just always keep the notifications off, or how can we keep our minds focused?
I don't understand how it's possible not to feel well if you have all these notifications, because I just dropped everything. I have no notifications at all, and
Wow.
most of the time my telephone in the sleeping mode when nothing
Oh,
can bother
wow.
me. And I think it's the best part. Of course, my friends know that okay, if I'm not answering now, I will answer later. There is no problem. But
You have got very good friends who understand.
yeah, yeah.
Here, if
But
you're not answering the phone, the friends are at your door. What
yeah,
happened?
because especially during your first 3 hours in morning, when it's absolutely yours time, when you can to be with yourself, with your soul, you just can think about what is really important, and if you just put in this virtual world, which absolute surrealistic, which made to addict for addiction, it's just impossible to feel fine. So yeah, I try to be as clear as it possible, and because I found that most CEO of top companies in the world, they use these strategies because they try to spend 3 or 4 times in their day without any distractions at all, because we are human and it's not in our nature to live in this overstimulation world. So, and it leads to burnout. Yeah.
But do you not think that this also comes under power that a CEO can, like disable the notifications very easily? No one can question him. But if I'm working for somebody and my notification is off and the message is sent even at 2 a.m. and I have not answered it at 6 a.m. the next morning, this is a problem. Do you think I do not have that kind of liberty to disable my notification? Is it a hierarchy concern
I
also?
I think that there is thing about employer and employees, because if you are a really good worker, you can make really strict rules to somebody who is your boss. Because if you do work well, there is very hard to find anybody who is really disciplined, who is ready to work, who is ready to do things hard. So if you will say your boss, okay, I need this time to rest, to feel good, maybe he'll just argue with you. Maybe he'll just be not very happy with that. But finally, for him, it's easier just to accept that than to find new worker, because find somebody new is really hard. Yeah, I think for boss, it's Because if you rest enough, if you have enough restore your energy, so you will be better in work. So it's both will be happy.
We see that we need to connect one more time for a whole conversation on the corporate culture, on how to create boundaries and set them and convey them in a professional way. Again, you said, like there, we have to be very nice when conveying things because
Yeah.
of course there is a superiority and then there is a hierarchy and everything, and there are like steps to power and everything. And we all are working for our well-being, progress, careers and everything. And we have to be very open but respectful in our communication. So I believe that we should connect on this office and work culture and boundaries and everything one more time.
Yeah, of course. I
You
think
agree?
it will be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. I hope you like the conversation. It might not be as the other podcast because like I really wanted to, because being a lawyer, that I had to work for 2 years and with other lawyers also. And when people come, the thing that I noticed the most was that nobody had the time to listen to the stories. They
Yeah.
wanted to tell you their stories, what went wrong, what was the grievance, and nobody was there to listen. And I was very emotional always. I'm a very emotional person, so I used to listen to all of their stories. And probably that is when I believed that this is something that I should be doing.
Yeah.
Yes, proper formally,
Yeah,
and
but
might make a career out of
it's
it.
very hard if you have really big empathy to have this all emotion of other people through yourself. It's really tough.
It is tough. It is tough because like when you listen to someone's story, you live it
Yeah.
mentally once, and then at times you just cry for no reason because there's a lot of trauma trapped inside you. This also
Yeah.
happens, and it's not much positive, but probably again that we need to listen, process, and then we also need to remind ourselves, this is not my story. This was a story that happened with someone else, and I have to, I just listened it.
Yeah.
So probably this is also, but like being a mental coach yourself, I'm sure it's another kind of ocean that never ends, that has
Yeah.
no end, no depths. It has just an infinity point.
Yeah.
So
If
whatever
something
thoughts we are
resonates
feeding.
with your traumas or your bad experience, usually it's multiply the suffering from empathy. As we can say that.
Yes, empathy. Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you are trying to become very empathetic and you just want to comfort other people, you become traumatized yourself because you're
Yeah.
just processing all the negative thoughts, and you're processing them inside. So yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
Can
How
I
do you
ask
keep
you a
yourself
question?
away from all these stories, like hearing other stories and just coaching them and not getting them to your mind?
I think just part of the work, but I try to make a lot of outside activities. So just walk away. You have to drop this cortisol and adrenaline in anything else. The best way to rest is to find another activity. It works like that. Maybe 2 weeks ago, we with my girlfriend tried bachata. It's like a Latin American dancing, and it was really fun. 'Cause I never thought like I can be a dancing person, but it's also just it was this mindset where I cannot think of another. I just okay, it's really hard. I have to dance. Okay, we'll go for that. So running, gym, outside activities is the key.
Any physical activity that can keep your mind
Yeah,
focused
outside.
on another side
Because it's
instead of.
impossible if you in four walls and you have to okay, I don't need to think about this big pink elephant. I don't need to think about this pink elephant. Of course, it's impossible. You just okay, you will have suffer from other lives.
Any movie or book that you recently read or even previously that you would like to suggest
Hmm. It,
for,
it dep-
to become
yeah,
mentally strong and have more resilience,
I
especially
think
to addictions?
the best one is the in English.
Yeah, sure.
It's kind Eastern Mind book.
Okay. Thank you so.
It's book about meditation, but it was like in meditation more in practical way. So it's just more about how to be perfect in meditation, no about theory, no about any other stuff. And because meditation is one of the best activity to get through this life, especially with the suffering. Because if you just can mind your breathing, it can make a lot of good things with your mindset and can shift you from suffering.
Suffering, yeah. The journey from suffering to happiness is, I think, it's more here than anywhere else. It's more here
But
because we suffer in our thoughts more than we're actually suffering.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Igor. Thank you so much for your time, and I
one
hope
moment,
that
I find
yeah,
the right name, the mind illuminated. So
eliminated. Okay, I'll just
So
put in the
it's
more
it's
details
one
over.
of the best book I ever. I've read a lot of stuff about meditation, Buddhism, and these things, and it's absolute perfect guideline for these things.
I'll definitely read and share my feedback with you also, and
Oh,
with
it will be
the
great.
audience also. And if there is any message, last message that you would like to add, it would be really great.
I think if you really if you really want to find happiness in your life, moderation is the key. Nothing except moderation will brings you there. Because extremes usually leads to another extremes, and these extremes will lead you to suffer, to void, and not a good place. So just find a good place in every sphere, and you will have what you want. I think
Thank you.
something like
Thank you
that.
so much. I think detaching from the strings of stress and staying moderate in everything that you do is the key to success. I think this was the core message that we wanted to give it to our audience. Thank you so much, Agor, for
Yeah,
coming. And inshallah, we'll connect very soon for another episode. I hope
yeah.
you
Thank you
enjoyed
very
this.
much. Yeah, it was enjoyable. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.
Take care.